What's up guys, how you all doing? Cosmic Carry here, bringing another World of Tanks video. For those of you that are new here, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and for my regular viewers and subscribers, hello, welcome one and all. And today I'm bringing you another episode of doing my best in my Death Star, and it's a little bit different from my previous episodes because basically I haven't been playing in my Death Star all that much lately. What can you do? You know, a man has only one pair of hands. You know, you can only play one tank at a time, and I've been kind of preoccupied with other projects, so to speak, namely Road to Commander and E100 week, and I don't know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I've kind of been neglecting the Death Star, and I'm not sure if it's necessarily neglecting. I want to say I took the Death Star as far as it could go, but you know, that's not necessarily true. That's not true at all. But I did kind of take it to the max as far as I could go, as far as, you know, the evolution of me playing in the Death Star, so to speak. And when you're in the Death Star, it's all about consistency, repetition. You know, those are the two main things. You kind of have to play the maps. You know, when a certain map pops up and it's in a certain mode, you say, okay, I know where I need to go, I know where I need to be. And you want the bad guys and your team to act a certain way in order for you to have a cool game. And it either happens or it doesn't happen. And when it comes to repetition, you know, if you want the bad guys to eventually, on, let's say for instance on Cliff, you know, you want the bad guys to act a certain way, you know, to go down these certain flanks, and you want the good guys to respond a certain way. Well, you know, it's not going to happen every time, so you repeat, you play and play and play the Death Star over and over, you know, again, the same way, on the same maps, you know, in the particular ways on each individual map and in each individual battle mode. And it's kind of repetition, and eventually you get the result. Eventually you get, you know, what you've been looking for. Okay, perfect, they've gone down, the bad guys are coming down that flank, the good guys are holding them off, and I'm totally unseen, and I can just unload. And that's how it is, basically, the life, you know, in the Death Star. Nice hit on the T-95, right off his backside. But it does get tiresome after a while, you know. Initially, when I started off in the Death Star, I did like a mini review of the thing, and I saw, as I said straight away, you know, I see so much potential in this tank, and I did extract that potential. You know, I did, you know, push it to the max. I learned how to use a tank. I learned not to push too hard, you know, pull back, silent sniper in the darkness. You don't expect it, boof, you know, you don't even see me coming, kind of thing. And, you know, move on to the next victim, you know. And then there came the period where, okay, well, I need to find these spots, and then I was learning where all these spots were in the map. You know, I uploaded on what was it, on, I was camping in a certain spot on, was it Lakeville? I can't remember. But you learn these spots, and at the same time, you know, everybody else has to act a certain way for you to take advantage of these spots. And then after that came the repetition. You know, I've learned how to use a tank. I've learned, you know, where the cool spots are for me to take advantage of me being in the Death Star. And now here comes the repetition. I have to repeat, you know, because there's, you know, not that many spots to hide, you know. and but after a while it does get tiring, it does get somewhat boring, and you yearn for some action, and somebody suggests Road to Commander, and I'm like, oh, that sounds great, that sounds like a ton of fun, I'm on it, I want to do it, you know. And if I'd carried on playing in my Death Star, I would have got, you know, I was yearning. Basically the next stage, which I didn't complete in my Death Star, was me to unload all 12 shells, you know, and all of them to have kick-ass damage or kills, you know, and load up a fantastic, great game of me and my Death Star, basically. And but I never reached this, you know, the you know, the tediousness of camping, you know, it just kind of got to me, so to speak. But I still play my Death Star. I play my Death Star on a platoon, but I don't necessarily get these fabulous, amazing games. It is still effective, as you can see in these games. It is, you know, still an effective machine, and I max out its strengths, I hide its weaknesses, of course, but I don't get these epic, magnificent games, you know, the GG games. I don't get them anymore because the repetition isn't there, you know. I don't play it non-stop all the time, and I think eventually I'll go back to it, you know, and play it over and over again, because when I initially got this thing, it was totally addictive. It was such an addictive tank. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, I just wanted to master the thing, you know. I really wanted to master the thing, and I think I did, you know. I think I really did. And I'm possibly, maybe soon, when I have the time, I'm gonna do a review on this thing. I really like to do a review on the Death Star, but pardon me. But yeah, like I said, I'm not constantly playing. So when I do play now these days, you know, I'm part of a team. You know, I chuck in my 2 cents worth as far as kills is concerned. You know, I take care of a flank, you know, here and there. Look at me faff up here, you know, I'm right in front of him, and what do I end up doing? Here, take a look. I give him a little nudge, hello, away from controller. I end up, you know, could have taken that, but anyway, but yeah, you know, the repetition isn't there, so I'm just getting these good games, but they're good games. They're not great games because of the Death Star, you know. They're not fantastic games because of the Death Star. This is a very, if you want a fantastic game in the Death Star, you have to be in a certain situation at a certain time, and the bad guys have to act a certain way, and the good guys have to act a certain way, you know, and that's that. But now I seem to be playing it just like a tank. I'm kind of, you know, I'm camping it up, of course, but I'm kind of, you know, responding to situations, and I'm not necessarily, you know, staying in one spot, not moving, you know, taking advantage of the cover. I'm a bit more mobile. It's a bit more, I'm treating it like more like a regular tank. And but the thing is, another thing I like to point out with regards to playing the Death Star non-stop is all these new maps are coming out, you know, and I kind of stopped playing it on a regular basis, you know, non-stop, just before the last two maps came out. What was it called? Arctic region, and the other one, I can't remember its name. And now another update, another two maps. And the thing is, with the Death Star, you have to master the maps if you want to become a master of the Death Star. and because they're releasing more and more maps, you're not mastering these maps because you're not playing in the Death Star non-stop. And what happens is, what I think will happen is, the effectiveness of my Death Star will kind of get watered down, because with repetition, if you play it non-stop, you become a master, I'm not bragging or anything like that, but you become a master of Himmelsdorf, or Cliff, or Malinovka, because you know where to be, how to take advantage, of the strong points in the map. But when they add more and more and more maps, it's kind of like, well, I haven't got a clue about these maps, let alone where I should be in my Death Star. It's just luck. As you can see here, I'm shifting position in the in the Death Star. No, normally I would never ever do this, but I'm like, okay, I want to make something happen. I want to win the game for the team. I want to help out. Normally I would never do this. This is so unusual. I'm totally relocating from one side of the map to the other, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm kind of playing it like a regular tank. I'm not putting myself in any kind of jeopardy or in harm's way or anything like that, but I'm responding to the situation, even though there's other tanks that could have done what I'm about to do, which is assisting shutting down this this flank that's coming in, this bunch of heavies, etc. But yeah, so like I said, I know my upload schedule, possibly last week there was a Doing My Best in my Death Star, episode released by myself. But I haven't played in the Death Star on a regular basis for about a month now, because I'm having fun doing other things. So I'm not necessarily saying, there's going to be a break in the series or anything like that. I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm taking it easy. Poof, takes me out, T95. Tip my hat to you. But anyhow, it is what it is, But this is actually a nice little 1-2-1-2 kind of combo move, or whatever you want to call it, on Himmelsdorf. And it could have played out so much better, but it is what it is. I mean, but at the end of the day, where can you be effective on Himmelsdorf in your Death Star? On a counter battle, you like I am here. Yes, you can. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Looking down the railroad tracks. But of course, as usual, everybody's treating encounter mode on Himmelsdorf as if it's standard battle. They're going up to hill, having a big old battle, duking it out. And not saying you're not supposed to do that. I do that all the time in my E100, but look at me again in my Death Star. Yeah, I'm being smart here. I'm gonna take advantage of this big gun and plant one in the backside of this tank, this T-69, and he's completely ignoring me. Well, he's not ignoring me, he's pulling away, but these other two are. But at the same time, I shouldn't be doing this in my Death Star. I'm leaving myself so vulnerable and exposed. The 3 turrets in front of me that could potentially just turn around, and pound me into oblivion. So, but this is what I mean. I'm not playing it. I'm not treating the Death Star like a Death Star. I'm treating it like a normal tank. If I was repeating, playing this thing to death, I wouldn't be in this situation. But it's a nice little combo that I do get, a nice couple of kills. So yeah, I was kind of happy with this. And this is too sloppy, very sloppy, very sloppy. Hate that. You've only got the 12 shells, and you faff up one, and you say to yourself, not just you got 12 shells, it's such a long reload speed, and But you know, what can you do? You're gonna faff up your shots. And this T95, I'm eyeballing him, and he sees what's about to happen. So he's turned round, and I get a perfect little shot on his commander's hatch. That I used to get really good effective shots on the T95 commander's hatch. I'm not sure if something happened with the updates, or you know, I'm not sure, but not anymore these days. With my E100, I remember on one game that I uploaded, I was getting really nice shots on the commander's hatches. And I kind of play it sort of smart here, where I decided to scoot round and, you know, I mean, yeah, take him out, pick up my, is it my third kill? I think it's my third kill. But ultimately, you know, the bad guys, they're pulling back basically from the hill. They've kind of lost ground up there, and as they pull back, there's nothing worse than a desperate tank, you know, and I get taken out. Yes, he's on low health, and yes, his gun, you know, does not, you know, but anyway, I'm saying, you know, desperate people, you know, they'll do desperate, crazy things. They're actually very, very dangerous players. But this last little combo is I don't participate in the battle here, basically. But what I was trying to say, this last little clip, this is the final clip that I'm going to show you of me and my Death Star, is kind of sort of in the spirit of the GG games, you know, that I uploaded of me and my Death Star, where I use the machine really, really smart, you know, and use its strengths to the max and protect its weaknesses. And basically, I don't participate in the battle here. As you can see up north, there's a big battle raging, and all I have eyes on is this little flank, this little enemy flank that's trying to push through on the bridge. And that's all I'm concerned about. As you can see, they've just taken out one of my compadres on the bridge, and they must really think, they assume that it's safe, you know, to push through, to cross the bridge, you know. And look at me, unseen killer, poof. Didn't kill the guy, but nonetheless, fully aware that artillery is in place, so I'm pulling back, lose the detection. And now they know that there's, you know, there's a Death Star in play, inflicted a buttload of damage, and they need to respect that, you know. And you see me when I play my Death Star, you see me, you know, one shot someone, and a lot of people will say, well, what's the friggin' point, you know? What am I supposed to do? You know, how do I counter that? How do I counter attack that? You know, of course it's got the weak armor, etc., but usually if you're a smart Death Star player, you're going to protect the armor. You know, how is that tank not OP, you know? But the way you counter a Death Star is you take a look at the list at the beginning of each game, and you look what's on the enemy side, you know. And I always look out for the Death Stars, and I always look out for the Waffen trackers, and I try to locate where they are, you know. I need to find them, basically, and not necessarily kill them, but you need to be aware of where the OP tanks are, you know. Like I said, the Death Star isn't OP, you know, unless it's in the hands of a nut job like me. But be aware, you know, of like the Waffen trackers. I see the Waffen tracker on the list. I want to know where the hell he is, you know. Those freaking Waffen trackers, literally, last night I was playing a game, and we were literally hunting Waffen trackers, you know. We were literally hunting those things, first and foremost, and trying to take them out, and sometimes successful, sometimes unsuccessful. What they do, I've noticed, little tip, for when you come up against them is be very wary of two Waffentraggers, of a pair of Waffentraggers. But what they like to do is using their 5 shots. Oh, there he is. Is that him? Yeah. Using their 5 shots, what they will do is track you with their first shot, and with the remaining 4 shots, they'll take you out. You know, and you're not even able to repair your tracks, you know, before you get eliminated, basically. So OP tank, I don't know if it's OP. You know, I unload. You know, I sometimes one-shot them. You know, in my E100, if you hit them in the right spot. You know, it's all about balance at the end of the day. You know, and ooh, I'm very scared of the C4. Intimidating, but yeah, it's like I say, in World of Tanks, they try to, you know, balance out all the tanks. You know, Waffentrager, fantastic gun, etc., etc. But you know, cardboard armor. You know, like I say, they're very similar to the Death Star. But they do piss me off, especially when they're in pairs. I hate those things, because where one has unloaded, you know, the second one will roll in, and they work really well together. 1-2, 1-2. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little mixtape of doing my best in my Death Star. Sorry if I rambled a bit, but anyhow, but look, as you can see, you know, you contribute somewhat to the game, but you do get, you know, fantastic damage, and you know, as you'll see coming up. But take it easy, guys. I'll see you on my Road to Commander series. Adios, muchachos.